gucken. Danke, Mr. Odin. Und ich hoffe, ihr könnt euch gut zurücklehnen, meine Freunde. Weil ich werde mich jetzt zurücklehnen.
Scientists are racing to unlock the secrets of the cosmos. Questions we once thought impossible to answer are within our grasp. Where does the sun go at night? Is math related to science? If the universe is so big, then why won't it...
Stimmt, ich lese nie Subs vor. Danke für eure Subs. Deep Soul, danke für die 5 Monate. Derblin, danke für die 12. Danke Mr. Alenda Rocks, Daniel McCrew und Philly Lilix für eure Resubs. Dankeschön. Eisbär, 78, 36 Monate. Danke Mr. Armin, Empty und Lash. Lash, du hier. Danke für deinen Resub. Dankeschön Anxiety für deine 8 Monate. Funky, danke für die 13 und Robbenklopper, danke für die 38. Danke, Jungs. Ihr macht das mehr oder minder möglich hier. Und ich gebe euch viel zu wenig Aufmerksamkeit. Weiter geht's.
Did fight me. As we look further into the universe, we see light from distant stars, eons old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Can this baby do 7?
I can do you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
Pressurizing, holding steady. I can see it. Unblur.
It won't hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tanks will go critical.
Opening the blind.
4K.
Hold her steady. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio. Now, punch it. There it is. Life on another world.
Whoa.
And to think, we owe it all to one indie development studio. Hello Games.
Das Logo sieht so scheiße aus.
Let's start at the beginning. Yeah, it's rewind time. Okay, the year is 2009, Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and he's just founded a company called Hello Games. Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010 AD. The game...
Hat irgendjemand von euch jemals Joe Danger gesehen? Ich habe das Spiel noch nie gesehen.
Just came out. It's a success.
Oh,
They're a
was?
small team, but they are ambitious. Let's do something bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars.
War das ein gutes Spiel oder war es kein gutes Spiel?
How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out. But that one doesn't perform as well. We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2. Joe Danger 3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before. Joe Danger the mobile game? Yes! And that came out in 2014. Seriously, guys, biggest thing you can think of. No, I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Ziemlich gut gemacht, Mann.
Sean pondered for a moment, then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you're going to make a space game, first person, it's never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope. That's not a knife. Who are you going to have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body now?
Planet, said Murray. Space game. Procedural generation. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP. No Man's Sky. Check it out.
Wenn ihr an No Man's Sky denkt, woran müsst ihr zuerst denken? Ich muss an Enttäuschung denken, an Scam und an ein richtig, richtig verbuggtes Spiel. So viel zum ersten Eindruck.
Oh, this is special. Oh my gosh! so special. Yes, yes, yes. No, no, no.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time. No Man's
Guck mal, wie nah die alle beieinander stehen durften. Damals.
Sky has promised to be a game like no other. A practically boundless experience vibrant with life and color and things to explore. What's over there? You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit. And a moment later, we're in space, having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends. Okay, that's it. This is gonna be the best game ever, you guys. It even won awards for its hype. And it will release in June 2016. The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out of the station. At every stop of the journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game. Spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's so vast that by the time you finish exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published. Sean himself was doing the interviews, because who is better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself? He went from interview to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations of the game's scope.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids.
You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit.
They're literally building your own like massively multiplayer world that's procedurally generated.
Sand planets like in Dune, rivers, walking sentinels, hacking. So sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms, they had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
Elon Musk ist immer hyped, wenn er ein bisschen Publicity rausbekommt. Okay, Chat. Es ist soweit gekommen. Haltet euch fest. Wir machen es schnell und schmerzlos. Oh shit. Was mache ich hier? Jetzt den Oreo live. Let's go. Okay, das ist ein Oreo-Chat, der komplett eingehüllt ist in weißer Creme. Der lag die ganze Zeit vor mir und der hat mich geteased. Und jetzt werde ich ihn essen. Ha. Bisschen Matsch. Boom. Ah, Scheiße, das ist ziemlich süß. Dein bekiffter Kopf wird das lieben. Oh mein Gott. Na, da geht's.
2 years go by.
Ein bisschen heftig,
It's early
Alter.
2016, and that hype train is really moving now. Perhaps one of the biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast.
Ich finde es ein bisschen zu süß, ehrlich gesagt. Aber nur ein kleines bisschen, also ein bisschen too much. Das ist so Amerika-Süße. Wisst ihr, was ich meine? Das ist quasi nicht europäisch süß, sondern Amerika-süß.
And thrown from the carriage doors. Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well. The date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Uh-oh. Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be-defunct Kotaku is about to spoil the party. He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
Oh my god!
Liar, the incensed audience cries. Please be quiet, they said. And death threats too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced. Ooh, sorry lads, we need more polish, said Sean in his usual accent. To that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way, although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police.
Welche Leute schicken eigentlich irgendwelchen Entwicklern immer irgendwelche Death Threats, wisst ihr? Wer kommt auf die Idee, oh, No Man's Sky wird verschoben, wie wär's, wenn ich erstmal den Typen androhe, ihn umzubringen? Und er dachte, fuck, was sind das für Leute?
Yet.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
But the impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said, fine, we will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen. Speaking of waiting.
Wollen wir uns die Werbung angucken oder wollen wir die Werbung skippen? Wollt ihr Werbung sehen? Vermutlich zu Raid Shadow Legends. Ich meine, ich gebe ihnen eine Chance.
Shadow Man here. Have you heard of Raidy Shady? My wife died in a plane crash. Hey, let's get serious for a moment. Raid isn't just a game with 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. It's a lifestyle. Think differently. Play Raid differently. achieve your dreams. I'm sorry, sir. You've contracted raids. That's good. Congratulations, it's Gorgorab of the Undead Horde.
My life for Nessu.
You've just collected one of over 4.
Also, lass mal kurz zurückgehen und die was stand da? Sinkt in Mikrotransaktionen.
You've just collected one of over 400 champions. Why, hello there. Have you heard about the online RPG PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play Store. Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid is more than just a game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night. It's one last dance at your wife's funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids.
Wisst ihr, das Ding ist halt so, er erwähnt solche Sachen wie, es ist gut bewertet im Play Store und er erwähnt irgend so ein Champion, das ist Ner'zhul und so weiter. Das ist alles Teil von diesem Vertrag, wisst ihr? Man bekommt quasi so einen Vertrag von Raid Shadow Legends, wo drin steht, dass du sagen musst, es hat viele gute Bewertungen auf dem Play Store. Er verpackt das schon ganz lustig, Chat, Alter. Aber ich meine nur, man hört zwischen den Zeilen den Schmerz in seiner Stimme.
Yay! And if you download now, kids, using the link in the description below, you can get an extra 50k silver and an epic champion.
Oh, amazing.
So let's talk about the team in charge of all that polishing. It's small. Tiny. In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA release. All of these expectations are on the shoulders of just 6 people, expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production.
Oh God.
July.
Sieht so aus, wenn er leiden würde, ganz kurz.
July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at what video game production does to a man.
God, what's wrong with your face?
Nonetheless, they continue, working on the day 1 patch, and... uh-oh. Sean, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay? That's right. It's a leak. Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder. And the bids start rolling in. It reaches $1,300 US. Sold to
biggest scam.
Some guy with the Reddit handle Damien. He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
What the frick?
Said Sean and Sony. Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is supposed to be.
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the Day 1 patch.
Der Day 1 Patch, Chat. Der letzte Day 1 Patch, den ich miterlebt habe, war Cyberpunk. Läuft Cyberpunk seitdem eigentlich? Ja, ne? Oder? Cyberpunk läuft jetzt crashfrei, oder? Also ohne Abstürze?
Sean, it's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date. Journalists too. And they started streaming playthroughs of the game.
So halb, besser, aber nicht wirklich? Okay.
Sony tried to DMCA all these videos.
Das schöne Wort DMCA. Ich wollte es kurz sacken lassen.
Their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone. We've officially become No Man's censored by Sony.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
They went bumbling around from platform to platform, just taking down any video that even talked about the leak or showed the trailer footage. But it was too late. The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game. Especially because there were no early review copies.
That's bad.
And it was looking like the weight of all these expectations had become too much. And the whole thing was about to give. Oh no. It's August. Everyone's here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped.
Ich habe das Spiel gespielt für 30 Minuten und habe es dann wieder zurückgegeben.
Here we go, lads. Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. Hello, Sean. It is me, the auditor of games. I used to work at an astronomy lab, don't worry about that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nobody would want that.
Ringed planets?
No. No.
Fine. Well, at least let me play as a trader.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them...
No.
Those sand planets from June look nice. Think I might... Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No, it's not.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
Ich würde gern Space Pirate sein.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool! Oh!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it yet.
If I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
No.
Well, day-night cycles determined by the orbit of the sun.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Na.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, and name your ship, hacking, portals. All that stuff about the elements, Sean.
No.
This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
And ironically, the only bugs this game doesn't have are the butterflies in the demo.
Buried buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor beam malfunctions, animal husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ship's interiors disappear, first-person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation, leaving the planet. Take off. Really take off. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out, animals bugging out. Animals breakdancing. Look at these busy hands. Hello there. And a couple of unrequested ejector seats.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No wait, poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guarantee.
Kommt mir alles so Cyberpunk-mäßig vor. Keine Ahnung, Probleme beim ersten Tag. Day One Patch soll es fixen. Nur dass Cyberpunk ein bisschen mehr liefert als sie.
Crash. Desktop notifications. That's a crash. Playing the game. That's a crash. Changing options in the game without restarting. You'll get this. And if you got the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship, you might have a problem. Your special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So whoops, until they patch it, you're stranded.
That's why I give my kids
No Man's Sky.
that fool.
Ah, my ship's in bits! Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release. Myself included.
Wer von euch hat No Man's Sky gekauft bei Release? Ich. Ich hab's gekauft bei Release. Mit hoher Erwartung und großer Enttäuschung. Jemand anderes anwesend? Danke noch fix für eure Subs. Dankeschön, Kacknase. Der Palt, danke für die 15. Danke, liebe Salami und Walking Red. Okay, jetzt schau ich mal. Es ist schon. Also ich sag mal so, ich sehe viele Ja's oder Ichs. Gott, wir sind alle in die Falle geschnappt. Mal gucken, was passiert.
Over 750,000 purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month. And the large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends, well, you're in for a surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes, it's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said it was definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release, Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Verdächtig.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function. But then the next line contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big
Oh mein Gott, das ist so low, Alter. Ganz ehrlich, was ein Argument, ey.
is pretty much zero.
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to overcome this finding each other hurdle.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! Right? No, it's more confusing than that. Because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable.
99 für die 23.
On the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
A black pillow.
Our streams are exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now if you don't move.
Yep, that's the same spot. And they can't see each other. That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer. And this led to quite a revolt. What did Sean have to say about all this? So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day. That has blown my mind.
So why can't we see other players in game?
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean, but why?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
So what's the game actually like then?
Is it any good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the Game Boy...
Das ist auch immer so ein Problem, wie bei so circa jedem Ubisoft-Spiel. Du hast zwar eine Welt, in der du dich bewegen kannst, aber du hast nichts von Wert, was du finden kannst. Für mich als jemand, der unglaublich gerne Dinge klaut und Dinge entdeckt, ist das immer sehr unbefriedigend. Das Spiel, was es richtig macht, Chat, und da stimmt ihr mir sicherlich alle zu, ist ein Spiel, und zwar es nennt sich GTA 5. Weil fucking GTA 5, Chat, Alter, oder GTA 5, war quasi schon 2013 um Längen quasi jeglichen fucking Spielen hinaus, Alter. Und in den letzten 7 Jahren habe ich keins bekommen, was so nice war wie GTA 5 in Sachen Open World und Entdecken. Das geilste Game. Rockstar Games, bitte rette mich mit einem politisch inkorrekten GTA 6, bitte. Bitte, bitte, bitte. Okay, weiter.
A simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory.
Witcher sagt dick. Nur um das mal kurz zu erwähnen. Witcher ist kein Open-World-Game. Witcher gibt dir die Illusion einer Open-World mit lieblosen Quest-Design. Und ich weiß, dass du mich alle dafür hasst, dass ich das sage.
Leave the planet, go to another planet, deal with a full...
Illusion einer Open-World. Instanzierte kleine Karten, die Open-World sein sollen. Keine Open-World.
Get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60, ladies and gentlemen.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots bullets instead of the mining beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes it look like you have something to do. It's not real.
How dare you?
Bin ich hier.
What followed was one of the most dramatic crashes in player numbers in gaming history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week. Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October. And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history. Reviewers on YouTube panned the game.
Oh, for fuck's sake! You done fucked it up!
I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot garbage.
Has anyone coined Sean Mourinho yet?
Numerous times within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, this is it, fuck this shit.
Achso, die Musik ist aus dem Video, das war meine.
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism was deafening.
and a lot of it really funny and creative. Krobycat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. So people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks.
Fucking Minecraft in space!
Many people made compilations of all the unfulfilled promises. One guy on the subreddit compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote. In fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked. So by the end of the month, Metacritic was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative from more than 70,000 reviews. Oof. The outrage at the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications, and the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashing through the floor. Please, no more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're showing this area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No, bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo with some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
People see what's going on with the game and feel lied to. This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints. We're going to investigate." But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam page. So it's technically not false advertising. But of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience. October 28th, Hello Games Twitter.
War schon Borderlands dreist, sind wir ehrlich. Also war quasi Borderline dreist, nicht Borderlands.
Is hacked. The hacker posts, "No Man's Sky was a mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also
Chat, da sind tolle Menschen, die mir zuschauen, wisst ihr? Und da gibt's Leute, die nicht nur toll sind, sondern gleichzeitig auch noch offensichtlicherweise sehr spendabel, Alter. Stopflame hat gerade 20 Subs verschenkt. Wolltest du mir Sub sein? Vermutlich nicht, richtig? Schreib nichts in den Chat, Alter. Was Stopflame hat dir gerade eingegeben. Danke, Stoppy, Alter. Lass dich fisten, ja? Cringe-Fist. Für dich die Pause, Bruder, ey. Nett von dir. Danke auch für deinen Resub von 39 Monaten. Wir kennen uns schon seit 39 Monaten. Mindestens. Crazy, Mann. Boom.
Seen discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile people up if published. Some people even show up to their offices to take photos and knock on the door, even at night and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so, naturally out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran. This in addition to numerous bomb and death threats during that period. Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony president Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky.
Danke,
Chris took the ball with that one and ran.
Danke auch Mr. Wolf und unter anderem for Resubs.
All of the negative press. They were actually nominated for a couple of awards. But by this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
And the Innovation Award goes to No Man's Sky.
Die war nicht da.
Oh, bro. This lovely trophy going once.
Oops.
Apparently won an award. Oops. We were eating dinner talking about definitely will win an award.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games, and congratulations to them. And now I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
Die waren am Boden zerstört.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry for them. And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular incident, but a lack of incidents. Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky. Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over, and it was dead.
Same story, another side. Warte, mir wurde 25 Minuten lang erzählt, was alles falsch ist an dem Video, und jetzt wird mir nochmal über eine halbe Stunde erzählt, oder fast eine halbe Stunde erzählt, was alles richtig ist? Moment, Chat, ich gehe kurz auf Toilette, gebt mir eine Sekunde Zeit. Offizielle Pipi-Pause. Wenn ihr mal müsst, jetzt der beste Moment. Oh shit. Alles gut, war zu. Okay, Chat, offizielle Pipi-Pause. Hol euch was zu trinken, holt Snacks, wir sind gleich wieder da. Danke für eure Waschbecken-Strohaktion, meine Freunde. Wisst ihr ganz genau, ja? Subben kann hier jeder, der irgendwo Kohle hat. Aber in meinen Waschbecken-Stroller nur Leute, die auch wirklich zugucken. Ich kann durch verschiedene Klimazonen in meiner Wohnung laufen, ey. Wenn ich meine Wohnung, also wenn ich hier den Raum verlasse, gehe ich in so einen kleinen Flur. Wenn ich im Flur bin, ist noch ganz okay die Temperatur. Und in der Sekunde, wo ich in die Küche gehe, Alter, brrr, fucking Eisplanet. Ah, okay. Seid ihr alle wieder bereit? Können wir loslegen? Alle fertig? Danke fürs Waschbeckenstrohlein. Stipp habe ich vorgelesen, unter anderem habe ich vorgelesen, Wolf habe ich vorgelesen, Inge Vogel habe ich vorgelesen. Alle vorgelesen. Danke nochmal. Okay. Dann macht euch auf was gefasst. Same story. Sorry, dieselbe Geschichte, eine andere Perspektive. Liest irgendjemand von euch die deutschen Untertitel, Chat? Oder sind die störend für euch? Weil ich habe ein paar Mal schon gelesen, macht die Untertitel weg. Aber ich bin mir sicher, irgendjemand liest die, oder? Eine Person? Ich hoffe, eine. Okay, nice. Wenn es eine liest, reicht schon.
The year is 2000 AD.
Kann ich kleiner machen? Ich glaube, die sind recht groß. Ich hatte die immer mal groß eingestellt wegen Handy. So.
Sean has just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks at a number of studios, eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3. When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and three of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio, Hello Games. This was a risky venture.
So we'd done this incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger.
Not nur BLP.
They work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place, because who would be working at 11 PM on a Sunday night? But they had to work that hard. Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
So we made a really tough and probably at the time seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I would recommend anyone else do.
But by June 8th, 2010, they had done it. The game was good. And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back. 2 years later, Joe Danger 2 was released. It was not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out sequels. That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into. In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Concurrent to all this development,
so eine hübsche Frau und so hübsche Kinder.
He would go on to have 3 kids, so the weight of responsibility is really piling on. But their hard work will pay off, as they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
Yes, and eine Oreo jetzt. Get ready.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news. Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England, right around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around at waist height. But some good news, they hadn't lost any data. So they pull together. Soldier on. Development continues. So there they are, working in a damp office, and then ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis. He's seen the game, and he says, "They are using my super formula," in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it. So they have a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. So back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
You were infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text-to-speech. They had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years, right up until the month before release. So they get back to work and ding dong.
Ich möchte auch anmerken, Chat, dass Sky einer von den Firmen ist, denen ich einmal Geld gegeben habe, Entschuldigung, nur um, wie ist diese enttäuschende Serie, diese fancy enttäuschende Serie? Mittelalter, Drachen, Sexszene in der Wüste, der Typ ohne Eier. Warum fällt mir das nicht ein? Wölfe. Ihr wisst schon, was ich meine. Dafür habe ich mir das Sky-Ticket geholt und ich erinnere mich noch daran, Chat, wie unglaublich anstrengend das war, dieses Game of Thrones, ja. Wie unglaublich anstrengend das war, dieses Ticket wieder zu kündigen, Alter. Weil du konntest das Ticket easy peasy kaufen, aber nicht easy peasy wieder kündigen. Und seitdem, Chat, ist Sky für mich einfach ein riesiger Haufen Scheiße, mit dem ich nichts zu tun haben will. Ja. Alle Product Placements sind ab jetzt tot.
It's Sony
Potenziell
with
Product
some good
Placements.
news for once. We like a game, kid. We want to feature it front and center and make you a big star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue. They said, yeah. But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray. Sean's in his early 30s now. Not super young, but relatively young, and inexperienced for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure on them. It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault, but they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around, and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks. From here, you can predict what's going to happen to multiplayer, and a bunch of other promised features.
Also Sony hat quasi eine Indie-Firma gefunden, die ein sehr, sehr, sagen wir mal, vielversprechendes Spiel produzieren, sind dann da quasi reingegangen als Publisher und haben gesagt, ey, ihr macht das jetzt fertig bis zu dem Zeitpunkt und dann verkaufen wir das. Hört sich an wie, als wenn Sony schnell Geld machen wollte.
So here's how the hype happened. Scope of game, time. And here's the line which shows the reality of development. Progress is steady and ends in August 2016. Now here is the line of player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple, but the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016. That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake. That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem, because price tags set expectations. For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing.
Wenn ich 60 Euro für ein Spiel ausgebe, dann erwarte ich wirklich ein wasserdichtes Game, Alter. Also richtig wasserdicht von vorne bis hinten, wisst ihr? Also ich glaube, viel teurer kann es nicht werden, oder? 60 Euro ist das höchste Gefühl, oder nicht? Chat, was kostet FIFA 21?
Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an indie game or an alpha, no problem.
Ja, sehe ich genauso.
But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully...
70 Euro? 80 Euro ist am Kommen? Wahnsinn, Alter, ernsthaft. Cyberpunk, was hat Cyberpunk gekostet?
Aligned their expectations with...
Ja, aber Chat, stopp. Wenn ein Aktienunternehmen ein Spiel produziert, ist das was anderes, als wenn EFT im Keller ein Spiel produziert, okay, Chat? Das ist ein gewaltiger Unterschied. Das ist was anderes, als wenn ich russischen Indie-Devs von EFT in Russland 120 Euro gebe für die teuerste Version oder ob ich 80 Euro pauschal bezahle im PlayStation Store für FIFA 21. Okay, wollte ich mal ganz kurz anmerken. Aber das ist ganz schön teuer, Alter, Chat.
Other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature. Now, some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much. Most people never saw these interviews. It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle finger to them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So, he's kind of stuck up there. In some ways, during the interview, he tries to temper expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And
ein introvertierter Mensch, Shit, so wie du. Wow.
The big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I personally find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing.
Es ist nichts Schlimmes, introvertiert zu sein, Chat. Und ich bin mir sicher, dass nicht jeder von euch introvertiert ist. Okay, nur so ganz nebenbei. Chat, alles gut.
I've ever done. That's something.
Aber wie kommst du, dass du dich angesprochen fühlst, huh?
That I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
literally the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Wenn ich den reden höre und wenn ich so die Doku gucke, Chat, dann habe ich immer wieder dieses Zitat von diesem Fallout-Dude im Kopf. 16 times the detail. Ich weiß nicht, Alter, ich bin mir sicher. Der InternetHistorian hat garantiert auch das Fallout-Video gemacht.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his game from 2013 to 2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than... So every planet, will there be wormholes?
Right.
At what point do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP, Their project and plans are constantly in flux. They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Day has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the lying compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the reporters might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done.
Ja, Mann, Alter. Das ist der Spiegel-TV-Effekt. Der hat vermutlich erzählt, wie hart die Entwicklung ist und so weiter. Und keine Ahnung, wie in Anführungszeichen kompliziert es ist, dann an neuen Features zu arbeiten. Und dann hat Journalismus gesagt, er arbeitet an komplizierten neuen Features. Oh mein Gott.
This is how journalism is done.
Na, guck, was passiert.
The look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky. Periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength.
Who the f told you? The press kind of operates downstream from the community because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point. They are close to the deadline and have to delay, and the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face. They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game. They're worried. There's nothing more they can do. And the fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
I worry about, like, disappointing people.
Upon release, all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar. And what doesn't help is his body language. I mean, it's kind of the body language of someone who is lying. And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert. Remember, he's a technical lead. Actually, a really good one. But not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack, because this is simply how he talks. Here are some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
Lead producers on No Man's Sky?
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the creator or something like that. No, I really like making games. I don't necessarily love talking about making games.
I think you did a good job.
Even though you guys are very nice.
Mate, seriously.
Same body language.
Okay, ich weiß, was er sagt.
And Jesus Christ, they have him up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report. Try keeping your nerve on that. Nonetheless, free of that context, the clips have him cemented in the community as a liar. So the graph plays out right to release.
Oh, kann er
and
nicht
that
dunkler
graph,
machen?
it's actually a track. And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill. Instead of neatly pulling into the station, it comes crashing right through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on. So there were Sean and Hello Games, surrounded by the rubble of their former reputation. Punished Sean was at his lowest point, hated by the majority of the gaming community. But they were still alive, and they had made tens of millions of dollars. They were left with two choices. Take the money, start a new project, and be a pariah, a cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
It allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times, whether it was crappy bosses that I've dealt with before or crappy situations at school growing up. I got my head down, I sat in front of a computer, and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2. So,
bedarf schon ein gewisses Maß an Charakter, in Anführungszeichen so einen Fehler einzugestehen und dann dafür gerade zu stehen, wisst ihr? Das ist schon hochgradig respektabel. Lass mal weiter zuhören.
Here's the plan. The team is assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game, and he reroutes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly to him now. Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours, people who
Ich habe auch solche Ordner für andere Sachen.
have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data, focusing on the people with the most sincere experience of the game. Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding and prioritizing. First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc., etc. This is going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they would need to sharply adjust their PR strategy. Anything they said right now, an admission of guilt,
I've made a severe,
would be met with criticism. Denial, it's not that bad, would be met with criticism. Corporate speak, well, we endeavored to make the best game we could and we are proud of what we have, would be met with criticism. Half of the problems have been caused by speaking too much. So they were going to do a complete 180. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered, they wouldn't speak to the press again.
Female traits you're talking about, I'd say that's a generalization, but you...
Was? Lass mal zurückgehen. Weibliche Eigenschaften, von denen Sie sprechen? Ich würde sagen, das ist eine Verallgemeinerung. Worum geht's? Um ihn oder um das Spiel?
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on. So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent. One day passed.
Ganz ehrlich, das einzig Richtige, was wir machen können. Oder? Sind wir mal ehrlich.
No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. Nope, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them, just work. 3 weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
A month. They took the fucking money and ran, didn't they? Don't say anything, it's not going to help. 2 months. 3 months. By now, most people were convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over. Then, after over 100 days of absolute silence,
100 Tage.
A tweet. Foundation. The first big patch.
It is me, Sean. No, go away, Sean. I am mad at you. It has been too long.
But I bring you gifts. Its accent sucks.
Gifts, you say?
It brought base building, new game modes, farming, camps, and freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes.
You will have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back.
It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work. A few more months went by, and then another tweet. Pathfinder.
What do we have here?
Was passiert da?
What the fuck?
Oh, it's you, Sean.
I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships, starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles you can drive around in, and create racetracks for them too with time trials. Look at this.
Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm still mad, and there's still a ton promised that isn't in the game yet.
So Sean went away once more. A few more months went by. A knock knock.
Oh, it's you, Sean. What is it now?
I bring you an overhaul to the storyline.
Oh.
New worlds, crashed freighters, space combat, terrain editing, portals, procedural mission system, interstellar trading, and joint exploration. By now, people were really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this was an honest effort to fix the game, and the number of employees working on it was growing. From a studio
28. Oktober war das letzte Update? Die machen ja immer noch weiter. Okay.
of 15 to 25. Sean Murray and Hello Games social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game secondhand on Amazon, eBay, and GameStop was going up.
What the
Then
fuck?
a few more months went by. Next, a really big patch.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit, the planet!
I just got goosebumps.
Oh no!
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's the full and proper multiplayer experience. Ringed planets, third-person mode, character customization, a galactic atlas on an external website for the community, vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources, and it also brought the game to Xbox. In fact, with the release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month. It climbed its way back into Steam's top 10. It reached nearly 100,000 concurrent players. It brought another $24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating went from mixed to very positive. People were getting back on board in a big way. But they weren't done yet. Better creatures, weird underwater shit, discoveries in bases and environments and equipment, and it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch. Which was when he released his biggest patch to date of this video.
Oh my god, dude!
Free VR support. Not a whole other game you have to pay for.
What the fuck? Die bringen VR raus, aber nicht als eigenes Spiel, wie Fallout VR hier zu sehen, mit einem eigenen Preis. $89? Was zum Teufel? Sondern die bringen das quasi als integriertes Ding rein?
Like some titles. Overhauls to NPCs, tech trees, base building, streamlined multiplayer, ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out another patch the other day, with ship salvaging, ship upgrading, more advanced terrain editing, first-person exocross, improved VR, improved base building and inventory management, and quality of life stuff. It goes on. Is it perfect? Technically, there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're starting to nitpick. Especially when you compare them to relationships with other games companies. They could have gone the route of Fallout 76.
Oh yeah.
Paywall mods with Fallout First, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral.
Oh ja, Chat, Alter, wenn ihr den Finger auf irgendein böses Spiel richten wollt, dann könnt ihr es ohne Bedenken auf Fallout tun, Alter. Zumindest auf das Fallout. Weil das war echt das ist das größte Scammy-Shit, den ich jemals selbst in meinem Leben miterlebt habe in der Computerspielbranche.
And more into pay-to-win scraps released without QA testing.
Lächerlich, Alter, das Spiel.
Instead, they never added
Warte, ganz kurz, hier. Ich zeige euch, wofür die kein Geld ausgeben konnten, aber wofür sie Geld hatten. Shit, wo habe ich die Figur hingeworfen? Da ist immer eine Fallout 76 Figur hier irgendwo rumliegen, aber ich habe keine Ahnung, wo die ist. Sorry, Chat. Ich dachte, ich könnte die schnell holen.
Pay to win.
Was ich damit sagen wollte ist, die können quasi Influencern irgendwelche Sachen schicken, aber die können das Spiel nicht fixen.
Never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR.
Wow. Wofür gibt man 12.000 Euro DLC aus? 12.000 Euro. 13. Was? TS Marketplace, Union Pacific Scenario Pack, Woodhead Electric Railway. Das ist ein Eisenbahnspiel, ne?
They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources back to do it.
Erinnert euch noch an das Game, Alter? Ebenfalls scammy wie all die anderen.
They didn't come out and call all gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel. They didn't do much of anything except get back to work. And just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray.
No Man's Sky next.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky's next.
No Man's Sky.
Ich habe das Video angefangen, ich mochte No Man's Sky nicht. Mittlerweile bin ich fast kurz davor, es zu mögen, wisst ihr?
And to cap it all off,
so kurz
the
davor.
subreddit No Man's Sky the game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe.
Oh. Stell dir mal vor, du hast plötzlich vor der Firma so ein Schild stehen, was irgendjemand für dich geholt hat.
Have a billboard installed near the Hello Games offices.
Oh, wie cute.
It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team. They took a huge risk to start a small studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation. Disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history for it.
As a family, post-release, we faced some really difficult challenges. Everything that you can imagine from like the worst of the internet, we hit.
But then over the course of the next 3 years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story. And after doing all of this research, I couldn't help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys.
Gay!
So what is the future for Hello Games? In 2017, they announced Hello Labs, a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation. 2 of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire. But for the foreseeable future, they're just working on No Man's Sky. Alright, I didn't want to finish the video on like a big sappy note. So, this is the end of the story, but there's still another few minutes. Don't leave.
It's not an ad.
Not an ad. Okay, in 2000...
Das ist normalerweise Ad-Time, wenn ich skippe, aber okay. Es ist kein Ad, Boys. Lass uns eine Sekunde reingucken.
15, when the hype was at its peak, someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fanfiction. And, naturally, I assumed that you lot would want to see it.
Chat, auch über mich wurde schon eine erotische Fanfiction geschrieben. Leider gibt's nur eine. Aber ja, das ist auch ein interessantes Internetphänomen, Chat, ja. Die nächstbeste, wenn ihr das nächste Mal euch überlegt, eine Fanfiction zu schreiben, Chat, ich lese sie auch vor im Stream, okay? Ich lese sie auch vor im Stream.
So, here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games. I arrived at the Hello Games office in the early evening as the sun was approaching the horizon. Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell. The door opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British-Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us." "I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I said. "Oh yeah, the interview. I forgot," he replied with his usual brilliant humor. I laughed. "You're so funny, Sean. Let me show you my office." "I have a surprise for you," Sean said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise," he said, softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard. It's sexy," I pretended to say to him in my head to myself. I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. "So here's the game," he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world just calling out to be explored. I began to sweat. Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke. "Could I try playing?" I said. "Oh, I suppose, of course," he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the control. "Sean," I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes. I stared deep into his beautiful, glistening eyes, utterly transfixed. "Sure," he said. He let go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip. But I have another surprise to show you. He stood up. Mike.
Redacted.
He muttered. Yes, please, I said, blushing as red as the treetops of Aurea 5. He grabbed my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release. The one true Sean Murray, not that baby-faced loser asshole poser from NCIS. Made sweet love to me. I wasn't sure what I was more excited about. Finally.
Redacted.
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky. After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space.
Redacted.
It was an out-of-world experience. Oculus Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit. Like what you see, he said. It's time, everybody, he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets, I realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was about to be
redacted
by a group of Sean Murrays, but they all had one difference.
Redacted.
Each piece
Redacted.
was different. There were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical. As the Hello Games team began to...
Redacted.
From somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, every...
Redacted.
Procedural. Also, I did a thing on the second channel. Please do check it out. I thought it was quite good. Okay. Erotic fan fiction over there.
Ja, okay. Christian like.
Why not check it out? And that's it. Sorry it took so long.
Was ein Video, Alter. Was ein legendäres Video, Chat, Alter.
Cross 18.
Ich weiß nicht, Chat. Irgendwie kann ich No Man's Sky nicht mehr so böse sein. Sollen wir vielleicht irgendwann nochmal No Man's Sky eine Chance geben? Oh Gott. Habe ich das gerade gesagt? Sollen wir No Man's Sky nochmal eine Chance geben? Oh Gott, was habe ich gesagt? No Man's Sky eine Chance geben? Ja, das sollten wir wirklich tun, Chat. Das sollten wir wirklich tun, Chat. Das sollten wir wirklich tun, Mann. Irgendwie, Chat, habe ich Bock, das hier nochmal zu sehen. Chat, habt ihr noch 26 Minuten eures Lebens Zeit? Ich würde mir nochmal ganz gerne das Fallout 76 Video angucken, weil ich finde, das ist ganz gut. VR sogar. Oh ja, wir können es wirklich in VR machen. Okay, ich hole mir fix eine Kleinigkeit zum Mampfen, Chat, und wir legen los, okay? Und in der Zeit habt ihr genügend Zeit, euren Twitch Prime Sub zu überprüfen, ja? Okay, ich bin gleich wieder da. Oh Gott, schnell weg. Ja, bevor ihr meine Antwort hört und darauf antworten. Oh, Moment, ich habe was zu essen hier. Was erzähl ich? Dann soll ich aber losgehen, okay. Scheiß auf Subs. Lass gucken. Seid ihr bereit? Okay, 3. Okay, seid ihr bereit? Ne, aber ich habe gesagt, ich bin gleich wieder da. Warte, lass eine Sekunde warten. Nicht, dass jemand losgesprintet ist. Okay, Chat. Es wird Zeit. Ich muss über den massiven Proteinverlust darüber hinauskommen, okay? Das ist Thunfisch. Lass einen Moment warten. Mag jemand? Stell dich, sag mal so, der Bizeps wächst nicht ohne Proteine, okay? Oh, guck mal, Chat, ich zeig dich fix kurz meinen Oberarm. In letzter Zeit trainiere ich. Sieht man, dass ich trainiere oder nicht? Oh shit, was hab ich getan? Okay. Ganz kurz, Chat. Das ist quasi der homoerotische Moment des Abends. Okay? Das ist mein rechter Arm. Okay? Wo sieht mein rechter Arm aus? Okay? Und jetzt spanne ich den an. Langsam, Chat. Langsam, aber sicher, okay? Langsam, aber sicher. Wir sind auf jeden Fall noch ein paar Monate drin, Chat. Aber ich bin froh, dass ich endlich mir einen Ruck geben kann und wirklich loslege. Achso, wir können loslegen. Seid ihr alle bereit? Mehr anwinkeln? Okay, Moment. Und wieso? Meinst du so? So, irgendwie so anwinkeln? Schwer zu sagen. Zumindest, ich bin ganz glücklich mit den Armen. Weiter geht's.
If you found this tape, it means that everyone is dead.
Oh, warte mal, bevor wir jetzt richtig anfangen, ne? Hat irgendjemand von euch das Spiel gespielt, gekauft oder irgendwie Kontakt mit dem Ding gehabt? Ich habe, wie soll ich das am besten formulieren? Ich habe das versucht zu spielen und ich erinnere mich noch daran, dass, da ich die Framerates unlocked hatte, lief das Spiel schneller als sonst. Also bedeutet quasi, wenn ich das Spiel mit 90 FPS gespielt habe, habe ich auch quasi eine schnellere Bewegung gehabt, als jemand, der zum Beispiel mit 30 FPS gespielt hat. Also das Game hatte jede Art von Fehler. Das ist ungelogen. Dieses Spiel, wenn du nichts darüber gesehen habt, es ist ein absoluter Autounfall.
Or working at a different office. How did this happen? Well, I'll tell you. Buckle up, buckaroos. Today's lesson is the misfired launch of Fallout 76. June 2018. It began with everyone getting just a little hyped up.
Have we waited long enough, guys?
Oh god, yes we have,
Fucking
Todd.
Todd, Alter.
Fallout 76, Bethesda's biggest game yet. My god, it was exciting, and they promised we'd know more at E3. E3 hype time, the press conference. 16 times the detail.
16 times the detail. All new rendering, lighting, and landscape technology.
16 times the detail, boys. 16!
4 times the map size.
It is 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
Wow!
And it's our biggest one yet.
My god, it was exciting. November 14th, 2018. The game goes live with a day one patch of 50 gigabytes.
For fuck's sake. I'll see you tomorrow.
But once that's downloaded, people start logging into the hellscape that is Fallout 76. And oh dear lord, they never fix the bugs. And there are so many of them. Goodbye world, goodbye necks, goodbye body, goodbye heads, bugs, bugs, bugs everywhere. Server crashes, game crashes, old bugs imported from Fallout 4. Use more than one nuke at a time, server's dead. Textures far too texturous, an all-consuming void. Error log 307. Can't pick up stuff, can't stop asserting dominance with a T-pose, framerate problems, screen tear problems, getting too swole, getting underneath the map, getting attacked by invisible enemies, spawning...
Ich möchte kurz was anmerken.
Pick up stuff, can't stop asserting dominance with a T-pose, framerate problems...
Guck mal hier, warte.
Screen tear.
Das Screen-Tearing hier ist, glaube ich, das schlimmste Screen-Tearing, das ich jemals in meinem Leben gesehen habe. Guck mal. Guck mal. Ich habe noch nie in meinem Leben so ein Screen-Tearing gesehen. Noch nie. Boah.
Getting too swole, getting underneath the map, getting attacked by invisible enemies, spawning too many enemies.
It kind of speaks for itself.
Spawning too many god rays. Also, your camp resets after every session, and sometimes it goes underwater. Holotapes randomly play static, but too many holotapes mean none of them will play. Enemy AI is far more A than I. Animations are broken. Surprise! Floating objects and a traveling merchant. Just to name a few. Joseph Anson has a great video that documents just the ones that he found personally. That video is 3 hours long. But it gets worse. Error CE 348780 can corrupt your data and force you to reinstall the game and console operating system. PC players had their computers brick entirely. Also, when the date rolled over to the 1st of January 2019, the nukes in the game stopped working altogether. No one thought it prudent to program in other years in an always online game. And a few players were straight up logging into other people's accounts. This guy had a level 78 character that was randomly replaced with a level 8 character. Bethesda said they couldn't do anything about it.
Oh my god, Alter.
Many players are not thrilled with this game, and they want Bethesda to know that. And they want everyone else to know that too. But Bethesda owns the platform. Is Fallout 76 fun?
Yes, it is. Banned for racism. Thread locked.
They had no direct outlet for their rage. The only solution was to put a torch to everything else. Reddit, Twitter, Bethesda's other games on Steam.
Oh my god.
The backlash was immense. But surely level heads would prevail. The reviewers would come out and say that the game isn't so bad. Oh dear lord, they hated it. This is so sad. Despacito, play Country Roads.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
And the YouTube community had this to say.
It's really fucking boring.
Could barely bring myself to play it in order to finish this review.
No one on staff wants to play any more of this video game. I'm not gonna subject myself to another 20, 30 hours of this fucking mess.
In short, Fallout 76 is morally, technically, and creatively bankrupt.
The mods on Bethesda forums were working overtime. The mods on Reddit almost gave up. Look, I'm not saying that some people didn't enjoy and have fun with this game. But what I am saying is that the Metacritic was really funny to read. So what happened? Well, it came out that development was hugely rushed. The deadlines were tight. Too tight.
Oh.
Plus, this wasn't Bethesda's A-team. It's actually a relatively inexperienced division based in Austin, and the scope of the game kept getting bigger.
We're gonna need distant weather systems.
Hey Todd, I stayed up all night and I just finished.
We're gonna need 16 times the detail.
Please. Todd, no more.
We're gonna need 4 times the size of Fallout 4.
That, and they were trying to patchwork the old Bethesda creation engine into a multiplayer framework. What else could you expect?
That's why I give my kids
Fallout 76.
Now, Bethesda could tolerate the bugs and the bad reviews and the irate players, but what they couldn't tolerate were the exploits. Infinite inventory, infinite invisibility. The frame rate was tied to the game speed, so people
Das, was ich meinte.
were going a lot faster than they should. Server hopping for more items, infinite cache and infinite duplication, unlimited XP, unlimited nuking. The nuclear codes were unencrypted and you could wall clip into the quest room. And someone was given the curse of infinite invincibility. Naturally, this can really mess with other players' online experience. So Bethesda was ready, with the ban hammer
This just works.
and a blindfold to wildly flail around and take down anyone who happened by. But Bethesda wasn't satisfied with just banning people. No, they're a progressive company with big ideas. They wanted to give a road to redemption. So support sent out this email to players caught cheating. We would be willing to accept an essay on why the use of third-party cheat software is detrimental to an online game community. That's right, 500 words on why you're a very naughty boy, and they may just give you your account back.
What the
But
fuck?
a couple of days later, the mocking from news outlets caused them to reconsider this approach.
Okay. Hä? Wer kommt denn auf die Idee? Da cheatet jemand, schreibt man 500 Wörter Aufsatz.
One more exploit. In all the Bethesda games, there's a dev room. Every item in the game is kept here. Security has to be top-notch, because otherwise, someone could just waltz in and take all of the best items in the game, and it would be an absolute disaster. Well, shit. Of course, Bethesda wasn't equipped to deal with the issue. People started flooding in, taking the best items in the game, then selling those items on a black market of sorts. At first, they tried the usual approach, banning people who had some of the best items in the game. You spent 700 hours just to get the best gun? Die, cheater. Next, they put in a system where players would get tagged if they ever entered the room, and they banned those players. That wasn't much better because people would just start using Smurf accounts. Get in quick with a level 1 account. Get all that good shit. Then get the fuck out. Then use a duplication glitch to get a ton more of those items. Then transfer that stuff to your main account and you're good to go. Bethesda then takes out this level 1 and calls it mission accomplished. And you've just beaten the game. So the problem continued. Bethesda is running out of ideas to solve it. There's a lot of speculation in the media and among players about how exactly people are getting in, but no one except for the exploiters knows for sure. That said, Bethesda needs to act fast before it ruins the economy of the game. So they wrote another email and sent it out to the Smurfs. Hello, Cheetah. Do you want to tell us how you did it, and we might unban you, please? Should we not hear back from you, the account will simply remain suspended. It's not known whether this approach worked, but from what I've seen, it's still possible.
Wer geht denn da mit dieser Kindergartenpädagogik an die ganzen Leute ran, Alter? Wer arbeitet denn da und trifft Entscheidungen? Meine Güte.
Possible to get into the dev room. November 22nd, 2018. Just a week after the release, the game goes on discount. From $60 to $40, to $35, to $30. You can find it for $15 on eBay, and in Germany they're straight up giving it for free when you buy a PlayStation controller. Also, some stores are just zip-tying it to other products.
Saturn.
But to Bethesda, it's worth selling the thing at a price close to zero, because it brings people into the atomic shop, which is where the real margins are, and it inflates the poor sales figures. Let's have a look at those. The latest figures show 76.
Ich möchte an der Stelle mal ganz kurz sagen, Chat, dass ich finde Microtransactions für kosmetische Gegenstände vielleicht nicht unbedingt, sagen wir mal, so wild, aber meine Güte, Alter, mittlerweile werden Spiele nur noch um diese Microtransactions aufgebaut. Quasi nicht mehr, oh, du spielst und kannst dich individualisieren, sondern, oh, du hast Microtransactions mit einem interessanten Framework.
Sold less than a sixth of what Fallout 4 did.
Aber das ist der Boomer in mir, der da gerade redet, Chat.
Not good. There's also been a massive oversupply of hard copies. Although what's the point of a hard copy when the thing is just a cardboard disc telling you to redeem an online code? And while sales are low, returns are high. Immediately upon release, people began asking Bethesda for a refund. 76 is not on Steam, it's on Bethesda's own platform, so they have all the control. If players only played the game for a few hours, then generally they'd get their money back. However, it came out that people were sometimes getting refunds after a full 24 hours of play.
That's
quite generous. But then word about this spread to forums. Then to Reddit, and a post got 12,500 upvotes informing people that this made pretty much everyone eligible for a refund, and the comments told them exactly how to do it. Bethesda was flooded with requests for refunds. And their response? Shut it down, lads. No one gets a refund now. Everyone go home. Show's over. Robot customer service man engage.
Customers who have downloaded the game are not eligible for a refund. We apologize for the inconvenience. Die.
A few things followed. First, people got mad. One hardcore gamer even trashed a GameStop for refusing his refund.
Holy shit.
Thank you for calling GameStop. This is Brian. How can I help you?
A bit of an overreaction, but probably also fake.
Danke, Kurim.
Second, the media.
Danke, Mr. President. Danke for resubs.
And third, a class action lawsuit. Their inconsistent refund policy and terms of service may not be strictly legal. November 27th, 2018. Miglaccio and Rathod LLP filed a class action suit on behalf of customers. Media quickly picked up on that. Their main argument is that it's a sometimes unplayable game owing to its technical problems, then they're refusing refunds, and that Bethesda is engaged in a strategy to release it anyway and then slowly patch their way into a more playable state. Updates on this lawsuit are slow, so I'll keep you informed on the second channel. Ad time.
Oh Gott, wollen wir uns die Werbung angucken? Habt ihr Lust auf Werbung? Nur nicht, ich danke kurz den Leuten, die gesubbt haben, währenddessen ihr schreibt. Shibishi, danke für die 21 Monate. Danke, Mr. Playa. Elefantenzirkus. Oh, neu hier, hm? Bobby Merte, Dankeschön. Mr. Tristan See, Dundex und Smiley Extreme. Erebius, Wintermars und Banana. Schön, dass ihr hier seid. Dankeschön für eure Subs bzw. Resubs. Wir lassen mal gucken, was er bewirbt.
Look, there's a meteor headed straight to Earth. Oh my god. We must do something. Was anyone curious enough to read about it online? Not me. Not me either. Nope. Oh no. Now people think I'm dumb and I have died a virgin. Don't let this happen to you.
Ihr müsst auch meine Werbung sehen. Sind hier irgendwo Sponsoren drin? Oder unter dem Stream? Ich glaube, du redest Scheiße.
Get Curiosity Stream. It's a streaming platform with some...
Okay, weiter.
Streamed in the sign-up paper thinking I was saving money, but then I left it out. Fallout fans made their pre-orders, and the most dedicated pre-ordered the Power Armor Edition. Wow. It came with a helmet, box, map, army toys, and a genuine West Tech canvas bag. Fast forward to the release, and customers noticed that their precious bags, which are supposed to be made of the finest canvas in the land,
Yummy.
look a bit different.
Bruh.
In fact, it looks like a carry bag the real bag should come in.
Bruh.
Did they really just advertise one thing
and
deliver another? You can't do that. So there was a surge of backlash, and people began emailing Bethesda, asking for refunds, asking for answers. By this point, customer service is absolutely over it. They are done with the facade, and they send this email in response.
Hello. We are sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and was too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it.
That's the whole email. Staff at Bethesda aren't even hiding their
We aren't
contempt.
planning on doing anything
Naturally,
about it.
The internet goes wild.
Wer schreibt... Ungelogen, Alter. Irgendjemand hat einfach kein Fingerspitzengefühl, der da arbeitet.
Are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Wow.
Well, I got so mad, I shaved everything off my face.
Okay, guys, this is a bit of a PR nightmare. We have to quell the outrage. What do? Well, we've got this in-game currency. Let's just give them the minimum amount of that. Fantastic idea. Hear ye, hear ye. Anyone who paid $200 to $300 for the Power Armor Edition is hereby entitled to $5 worth of in-game currency that you'll be able to spend with us. 500 atoms? Fuck yeah! What are you gonna do with your atoms? I'm gonna buy 5/18 of the white paint version of the Power Armor. Whoa! What about you? Light wood laminate, light wood laminate, light wood laminate. Fuck the bag! He's right! Fuck the bag! Light wood laminate.
Light wood laminate, light wood laminate, light wood laminate, light wood laminate.
Of course, this was Bethesda's fantasy of what would happen. What really happened is further outrage, and even the media started piling on.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
It even became part of that class action lawsuit from earlier. Bethesda put out a tweet apologizing for their curt customer service and gave a different excuse for why they didn't make the bags. A shortage of material, apparently. That was quickly debunked. Because it turns out they did make the canvas bag, except they gave them all out to influencers. Oh,
Die Ratten.
Dear. It's not the same one, of course, but it's sourced from that ever-scarce material, canvas. But what's more amusing is that it turns out there is a canvas bag in the game. If you don the postman's outfit, which of course can be found at the Atom Shop, for 700 atoms. Ooh, just short. Well, the bleating from the online community continued, and Bethesda's lawyers realized there would be trouble, so they decided to capitulate. Alright, fine, we'll make your precious fucking bag. If you want to claim it, you'll have to fill out this form with your name, personal details, address, etc., etc. And we'll ship out the bag to you in 4 to 6 months. But it doesn't quite end there. Because Bethesda is known for bugs, and of course their website is a buggy mess too. Turns out all of the customer support inquiries are unsecure and open to the public. In fact, people can open and close and change them at will. Listed are details of full legal names, phone numbers, home addresses, and more. If you've requested your canvas bag, you've just been doxxed.
Oh my god. That's a shit show.
Not knowing how to immediately fix the problem, Bethesda panics and temporarily shuts down the whole website. And that is the tale of the duffel kerfuffle. How could this have been so difficult? They made one for New Vegas. One last piece of merch, a rum drink, Nuka-Cola Dark. Pre-orders available in September. Shipped out on November 14th, $80 plus postage and handling. Not cheap, but in return you got a very cool bootle.
$80, okay? 80.
Looks good on the shelf. A great conversation piece with the family over Thanksgiving. Or at least it would have been. November 14th came
and went, and there was no rum. Okay. A week later, on November 21st, an email comes through. There's a delay. Things aren't up to the usual Fallout standard, they say.
Fallout standard.
The usual Fallout standard.
All of this just works.
Things aren't up to the usual Fallout standard. So we'll have it for you soon. No specific date given.
1 week later.
Nothing. Then on December 5th, another email. Good news. We start shipping on December 12th. It's been nearly 3 months since you pre-ordered, but as a show of good faith, we made this promotional video for you. And this is where things went from tardy to retardy. Right there. Did you catch that? That's just a regular industry bottle and a plastic shell.
Oh, scam.
We paid $80 and waited a quarter of a year for a plastic shell? People were not happy. Look at that ratio. Nothing in the marketing said that it was a plastic shell. Super premium, we were promised. And the media agreed.
Was ist los mit den Leuten? Was ist eigentlich los mit den Leuten, Alter? Versuchen die an jeder Ecke Geld zu sparen? Hätten die das alles gemacht, hätten die sich so viel PR-Desaster ersparen können. Die hätten einfach nur eine vernünftige Flasche machen müssen. Die hätten einfach nur einen vernünftigen Canvasback machen müssen. Warum zum Teufel stellt man sich so quer?
People began cancelling their orders. Silver Screen tries to convince people that it's not cheap and shitty. It actually costs us twice as much to make the plastic one than the glass one.
Chat, es gab mal einen Zeitpunkt in meinem Leben, da war ich davon überzeugt, dass Blizzard Entertainment und Bethesda die Spielefirmen sind, die am ehrlichsten Games machen. Die wirklich ehrlich daran interessiert sind, gute Spiele zu machen. Dann gab es einen Activision-Merger mit Blizzard, dann war das tot. Und was auch immer mit Bethesda in den letzten Jahren passiert ist.
Then what the fuck? We spent 100 hours coding the design. Convincing stuff. So it arrives, just a few days before Christmas. The rum is about the quality you'd expect.
Can I swear on this? It's my own show.
Worse is the design. The oversized lip means liquid can pour inside the shell.
Hard to pour because how they made this damn thing. Spilled like half the shot.
Very dribbly.
So you're best off opening the whole thing up to prevent spilling. If you do that, there's a good chance that you'll snap the flimsy plastic. Any liquid will immediately ruin this cheap paper sticker. Some made their own at home and the quality was about on par. But look, if you do want a decent version of this product, there are reputable sellers of them. They're on Etsy. They're far cheaper, and they actually give a shit. Not gonna lie though, some of the memes that came out of this were pretty good. Now, many claim that this was an honest mistake.
Sorry.
Or that customers were at fault for misinterpreting ambiguous marketing. I disagree. All of the marketing shows other glass items. All of the mock-ups show something more akin to frosted glass than plastic. They give plenty of descriptions of the product too, and not once do they mention plastic. And they were engaged in a bunch of other tomfuckery as well. Before the product was even available, they flooded their own product reviews with a bunch of 5 stars. This raised some eyebrows, and people on Reddit even called them out for it, so they deleted them. You can see all this activity on the Wayback Machine.
Das ist schmutzig.
Now, if they're happy to deceive people in this way, it seems silly to give them the benefit of the doubt about the glass. It's also worth quickly talking about the Bethesda merch store. Some of these items are pretty neat. That's cool. Good idea. I'd have that. Fallout 76 pant. Singular. But why is he so mad? The photography is all just slightly off. This gaudy jacket was mocked relentlessly on social media. But does the 76 and $276 really make it more immersive? And why did they just toss it on the ground? And it comes in this crumpled up toddler body bag. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in merch and you don't have an eye on? Why is she wearing the size XXL? She's clearly not happy about it. But who looked at this and said, good job?
Print. Oh my god.
Now that's surprising. And what the fuck? They made the bottle properly. Yeah, one of those please, but bigger and brown. Is that so hard? Let's get back to the game. December 2018. There are 2 new patches released that caused quite a stir. First, the good. For PC, they included a number of quality of life improvements, including push to talk. But it also brought in field of view sliders. Hooray! Increased stash capacity from 400 pounds to 600 pounds, and a small buff to automatic weapons. Hooray! They decreased the carry weight of bobby pins so it no longer took up 10 to 20% of people's inventory.
I got a box of bobby pins the other week that said weigh these.
There were also upgrades to the camp that allowed for easier construction, and a bunch of bug fixes. Hooray! The bad. A whole bunch of unannounced stealth nerfs. They generally made the game grindier. Ammo production was decreased. Fusion cores burnt out faster. Legendary enemies spawned less frequently.
On guard, I'll fuck you up.
And the backlash was significant, because everybody knew why Bethesda was doing it.
Warum? Ich weiß jetzt schon, dass es um Geld geht. Sind wir ehrlich? Let's go.
To encourage people to use the Atomic Shop.
Yay.
And let's talk briefly about that store. Some of the prices are outrageous. A Christmas tree for $12, a Santa outfit for $20, blue and yellow paint for $18. Oh look, $3 for the same sweater vest and slacks item imported from Fallout 4. But the biggest offense of all was the holiday emote bundle. $24 for some Christmas-themed emotes, twice the price of these games. The media agreed that these were egregious prices. But worse, they're engaged in some deceiving marketing practices too. Oh look, it's marked down half price. But it's not. It was released half price. They're artificially jacking up the price, only to then give it a fake limited time discount in order to create a sense of urgency. That's illegal, here in Australia at least, in Canada and in the EU. Reddit quickly picked up on this and pointed it out. Bethesda reacted by scrapping the discount and just setting it as the always intended price. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes of whining now, so I'm just going to leave it here. I didn't even get a chance to touch on the new pay-to-win fiasco, the new camera item that lets you teleport, dwindling player numbers. But on the flip side, they're also adding new content and improving the game over time. Heck, No Man's Sky was a surprising comeback. So, maybe Bethesda can do it too. But for now, Todd returns to cryostasis, hiding in his bunker until the bombs of outrage stop falling, and returning only when it's time to get our hopes up once again.
El Huron, Dankeschön für den Sub, Mann.
CuriosityStream.com/InternetHistorian.
Das war die Werbung.
Not many people know this, but I'm actually quite a good rap artist, rappist, if you will. So I'm going to say all these names for you from the credits as fast as I possibly can, in time with the scrolling. Here we go, one take. Just Miles Millican, Justin Rowland, Owen with Steve Rizzo, Travis, Indigo Zero, Luke Hackle, Astatine 210. Oh, fuck.
Ich bin Chatin. Lucky Fox, Jody, Justin Ronin, Stream Elements, Hirado, Stabilizer Moon, MPH, Nekon, Hirado, Nasenbluten, Yo Ernie, Nekon, Martin, Klotz, Jera, Encore, Dead Side.
If you want to get read by the rap.
Und wenn auch ihr vorgelesen werden wollt, müsst ihr einfach nur was in den Chat schreiben. Zu irgendwelchen random Zeitpunkten, die ich aussuche.
Then why don't you head over to...
Okay. Das war ein sehr unterhaltsames Video, Chat. Allgemein war das sehr unterhaltsam. Chat, ey. Phonex, danke für die 13. Dankeschön, Snatchy, nochmal für den Prime-Sub. Vielen lieben Dank und herzlich willkommen, Snatchel. Der hört das schon aus meiner Stimme, oder? Benden, Dankeschön für den Resub. Dankeschön, Nico. Danke, lieber Kurim, nochmal. Und Mr. President First für die 15. Danke. Ich würde sagen, Chat, wir verabschieden uns voneinander für heute. Aber nur für heute. Und machen morgen weiter, wo wir aufgehört haben. Oh? Ich bin unterm Tisch, falls du mich suchst. Ich komm hoch, warte. Oh, da bin ich wieder. Chat. Lass uns Feierabend machen, Alter. Lass uns Feierabend machen. Wir machen morgen weiter, Chat. Und Ronster Wars. Mit dir wollte ich sowieso nochmal reden, Ronster, Alter. Gut, dass du gerade da bist, ey. Ich hab gesehen, dass du richtig, richtig tief im VAC drin steckst, ey. Ich adde dich heute mal. Danke, Mann. Wild Dog Playground, danke für die 36. Chat, auch für mich war das heute sehr schön, glaub mir. Auch für mich war das heute sehr schön. Wir haben heute DayZ gespielt. Okay, wir haben heute DayZ gespielt. Und ich habe heute eine Aufnahme gemacht fürs Video. Normalerweise dauert sowas immer recht lange. Und ich tue mir sehr schwer, interessante neue Szenen zu finden. Aber wir haben heute eine großartige Szene zusammen gehabt, Chat. Mit anderen Worten, wir sind da an was dran. Das wird cool werden. Das wird ein gutes Video werden, wenn es erstmal veröffentlicht ist. Chat, ihr seht mich so oder so jeden Tag. Versprochen. Und für heute mache ich Feierabend, weil irgendwie ich merke gerade, Chat, wisst ihr, ich habe meine guten Momente so und dann merke ich, wenn es schlechter wird und ich merke gerade, dass es langsam schlechter wird. Beziehungsweise, dass mein Kopf langsam langsamer wird. Das ist nicht gut, Chat. Zum Abschluss noch das Phasmo-Video gucken. Ihr könnt euch das gerne selbst nochmal reinziehen. Ich werde das auch nochmal in Ruhe gucken, aber nicht mehr jetzt, Chat. Wie gesagt, ich merke, dass mein Kopf langsam dicht wird, ey. Vielen lieben Dank trotzdem. Das Lied ist ein bisschen stressig zum Verabschieden. Vielen lieben Dank trotzdem nochmal für diesen wunderschönen Abend heute, Chat. War sehr, sehr schön für euch streamen zu dürfen. Sehr nett, dass ihr eure Zeit aufgeopfert habt, um zusammen mit mir hier rumzuhängen. Ich werde noch einmal die erste und letzte Werbung, die von mir selbst eingespielt wird, abspielen. Und dann komme ich gleich wieder und knuddel euch alle einmal ganz doll und wünsche euch die beste gute Nacht, die ihr, glaube ich, jemals hattet. Also bis gleich. Ich bin auf Toilette. Desire, I wanna be. Heute war schön, Chat. Heute war sehr schön. Desire. Dakota, danke für die 10 Monate Reset, Mann. Schlaf gut, mein Freund. Okay, Freunde, ich glaube, die Werbung sollte vorüber sein. Danke für den schönen Abend heute nochmal. Wenn ihr keine Werbung hattet, macht keinen Stress, Chat. Ist scheißegal. Ich will nur mein Gewissen beruhigen, dass ich zumindest einmal den Button klicke. Ja, und wir sehen uns später heute wieder, ne? Okay, heute war ein großartiger Tag. Wohl einer der besten Tage, die ich seit langer Zeit hatte, Chat. Allgemein, in letzter Zeit bin ich auf so einer Selbstfindungstour, wisst ihr? So ein bisschen den Daniel Beyond erforschen, beziehungsweise so ein bisschen mit dem ganzen Kram klarkommen, der mich so seit der Kindheit beschäftigt, wisst ihr? Ich will gar nicht tiefer darauf eingehen, aber ich bin ziemlich viel am Arbeiten an mir und langsam trägt das Früchte und das macht mich glücklich, Chat. Ja, so, wir sehen uns später heute. Desire. So ungefähr in 15 Stunden oder 16 Stunden. Okay, wenn du in 15 oder 16 Stunden nichts zu tun hast. Ich bin genau hier und wir machen weiter. Vermutlich auch wieder mit DayZ und dann gucken wir vermutlich auch wieder Videos. Wir machen vermutlich das gleiche. Und denkt dran, ab 0 Uhr werden die Streams immer ein bisschen weirder. Ja, danke für heute, Chat. Kommt gut ins Bett, Mann. Schlaf gut, ey. Ja. Und ansonsten, keine Ahnung, Social Media Kram muss ich wohl heute nicht erwähnen. Vielen Dank, Mann. So, letzte Faust, meine Freunde. Danke. Gute Nacht.